together we form
this crazy dynamo
known as the
Unpanderers. No, sir, we don't pander.
Yeah, especially not to younger viewers.
If you're under 18, please get your waiver signed and come back.
Yeah, go listen to some tinier podcast that doesn't care. We care.
Also, if you're an employer, you cannot use this podcast against me, please. Only because it's for infotainment.
Yeah, it's for fun.
Entertainment purposes only, I believe it's called.
Yeah, nothing can be used against us in court of law.
So what would you say we do here again?
We like to fit in the groove and just flow. Burst out in conversation.
Let it rip. A couple old friends just going over some really interesting stuff. So why don't you tune in?
Enjoy.
Thanks, folks.
All right. I am Dan, by the way.
I'm the Nick.
I'm the Nick.
Mm-hmm.
We are the Unpanderers.
That's both of us combined.
Together.
Forever. It was going there. It was nice.
Yeah.
It was nice, folks.
Yep. Feeling good.
Ooh.
Surprisingly.
If we looked back, I'd say, is this when they started doing drugs? Woo! But no, I just said boogies because
When we start
allergy season.
Oh,
Allergy season. I'll get into that.
Exciting allergy season. Ooh.
It's been quite a barn burner for the allergy fans out there.
Do you have any...
Allergens through the roof. Do I have any, clarifications from the last episode?
Yeah, from the memory episode?
I don't remember most of it. But I think that's because my neurons weren't firing at 150 miles an hour. It was closer to 140 miles an hour.
Wow.
So, everyone, turn down the speed dial. Neurons only move at 140 some mile an hour.
And you have
the number we gave
less
was
than
exaggeration.
Or the 86 billion neurons in a normal human brain?
Yeah. Now, we clarified it was 86, but how do we know I'm not extraordinary? You know?
Double me. Go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure there were stats in there somewhere. Then they always pop in my brain. I go, I should have put that on the podcast.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Mm-hmm.
That's the name of this podcast. Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah. We'll come back to something later when I remember what it was.
I do have something to brighten everyone's day.
Oh, it's fantastic. Let's hear it.
Can you bring pictures up on the screen?
I most certainly can. I would like to apologize for clicking in certain segments if you were listening to the previous podcast. I was trying to bring stuff up, and then we never talked about it. And I was like, I'm not going to interrupt her because she's a special guest.
Tell us what you really think, folks. We hated her, too. Good friend of the podcast. Check out Neuron Air. It's very good.
You going to send me something? Picture to bring up?
Yeah, can you look up Kiwano, Kiwano, horned mango?
Wow, that's already well, I guess it's so unique. Yeah, I got it. What do you want? The picture of it?
Yeah, just throw the picture up for everybody.
Do you want the health benefits or the actual picture?
No, just the picture. Really, just the picture.
Did you taste this thing?
No, even better. Grocery shopping with my son. He's being very good today. Sometimes he's a real pain in my butt. I saw this in a grocery store, and I told him it was a dinosaur egg.
Oh, nice.
And his eyes went wide, and he said, So anyway, we're shopping around. I had to circle back to the produce section. So I go by there, and he said, the dinosaur, Dada. And I said, yeah, I think we're going to get one.
Oh, nice.
It's like $1.30, so I bought it, right? So he's holding it, and he wants to hold it. He's like, it's pointy. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, it needs to hatch. It needs to be warm. I said, oh, this is awesome. Bought it. Brought it home. I kind of thought he'd forget about it. For $1.30, I figured it's worth a shot. Maybe I had a little fun with this thing.
Yeah.
He wrapped it in blankets when we got home.
That's amazing.
So hold on. We have this upstairs.
Oh,
he made a bed box. And there's like a blanket under it and a blanket in it. And he's been keeping it warm. And I've been enjoying the hell out of it.
Has he been sitting on it?
No, he hasn't sat on it. It's for the record, folks, that's pointy as hell. Do not sit on it. You want to horned mango or else you will be in an ER.
Oh.
I kind of can't wait to eat it, but I can't now because it's like
you have to have him come in as mid-eating and be like, Dada.
Just dripping
from
my chin.
So
So sorry, it was so delicious. Well, my girlfriend got into saying to me, listen, if he really believes it, what are we going to do? And I was like, what do you mean what are you going to do? It's going to take care of itself. It's a fruit. It's going to turn old and go crappy. And he said, you can't do that. We have to buy him like a bearded dragon. And I was like, no, you don't. You don't have
real
to buy
animal?
this kid an iguana. I'm
No.
not getting him in a real. He'll figure it out. And then I was like, well, maybe we get him a stuffed lizard or something.
Yeah, I could
Would
see
that work?
Yeah.
Or a little fake dragon or something. Like Toothless. You ever see How to Train Your Dragon or whatever? We'll get him a little one of those dolls and go like, hey, it hatched. Here you go.
I mean, think of plastic. It's got to fit inside of it, right? I mean, your son's probably not that logical to be like, this shouldn't.
Oh, that's too large, Dada. Shut up.
That's the way dinosaurs are.
Yeah, they get bigger. It hatched. Hence, it's bigger than the egg.
You should get him one of the foam ones that expands.
The grow? Oh, yeah. Shrinky Dink?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shrink-a-dink.
What's your old high school nickname? Shrinky Dink. Shrinky Dink. Little cold water is all it took, huh? Pool class.
Yeah. Those pools
Anyway.
kept it
Yeah, they were brisk.
warm, yeah. Luckily. It's the showers that scared me.
Yeah.
And everyone else is shrinking.
Moving to the
Oh,
next area of expertise. Did anything big happen in your life recently?
I became a dad for the second time.
Yo, congrats. That looks like it says Dadu. You gotta lean back. There you go. Now it's official.
Now you see my man chest.
We got a daddy on site. What kind of daddy are you? I forget what, episode 5 or so.
Episode 5.
What was the joke? The what
Pound
kind of
daddy? I was a pound
Pound?
daddy. I actually am not a pound daddy because I have not shared any of my shoes with anybody.
Okay. But you are a daddy.
Yes.
Second time around,
I'm a
right?
hashtag daddy.
Second time, right?
And together we're hashtag daddies. If anyone wants to find us on the internet, that's exactly where you look.
If you're looking for the Unpanderers, you want to find a little more of us, interact with us, check any of your local websites for some daddies. We'll be right there.
So yeah,
Is that what we're going to talk about tonight?
we're going to talk
Daddies?
about being a dad. And the process of becoming a dad, which
Oh, that's everyone's favorite part.
the scientific part is you just magically have a baby pop out of something.
You call the stork.
Yeah.
You tell him to screw your wife.
Yeah. And then you get one of those dinosaur eggs. And it goes
you
inside of
shove
her.
it right up in there.
This is going to hurt a little
Hold
bit.
it steady.
And then
You want to de-thorn it.
Slice it right open.
Boom. Baby's born. Baby's born every 18 seconds. Did you know that?
I did not know that. Is that a fact?
No. Google it. I have no idea. It's probably more than that.
Oh, you make me look it up. Baby born every United States or you want the world?
Whichever one's closer to 18 seconds. I can both.
This is my search. How many babies are born each day? You make me do the math. Make me do the
No,
math.
there's every second. Or a baby is born every... You could have just typed that. I'm sure Google would have fixed it for you.
Four births every second in the world.
God damn.
So you're...
That's a lot of babies. So no offense. You're not even that special.
Yeah. That
I would
baby.
say.
Billion or so. Nah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But that's, I mean, if
Wow.
it's United States, it's kind of close to what you said. I mean, that's estimate of
Is
like
it?
8 billion, 7 billion mark. So like United States, somewhere. So yeah, so you're pretty close.
How are you estimating the United States from the world data?
The 300
Like, are you
million
just
people in the United States.
Oh, yeah, but how do you know that we have babies at a proportional amount that other countries do?
I'm assuming that the United States, since it's an industrialized nation, has fewer births, which actually would put your stat closer to 18 seconds per birth.
Interesting. Someone at home is like, I just Googled it, and it's like every hour. These guys are idiots.
Yeah. No, you're an
Anyway,
idiot.
for the record, I might be an idiot.
All right. Make me.
Yes.
You want the real stat?
No. People, I always hear comments about our podcast, and people say they like the sound of you typing. Is that a new keyboard?
Do you like the quickness?
I do. Are your fingers on the home keys?
I don't look. I mean, I went through a class that taught me how to do it, but
Uh-huh.
this is probably decades of painful programming, saddening lifestyle, and crooked neck.
Deadening the old
Crane neck.
nerve cells.
I don't think I can
Yeah.
straighten it. Oh my god. Oh. Straighten that neck out.
Straighten
Oh
daddy,
god, it
yeah.
cracks too much.
We call this one Straighten Daddy. And for the record, I'm a bear.
Oh, you're a bear. I like that shirt actually.
I think I got it at Kohl's or something. Who knows? No one knows at any point anymore.
Did you see that Mama Bear video?
Oh, at the people's front door.
No. There's
I saw the clip near the highway.
there's somebody
Near
on
a
the
road?
street protecting children.
Nah, Go ahead. So what does she do?
So the Mama Bear is actually a
I didn't click the
off-duty
link.
police officer who's female, and a guy pulls up. I don't know if he pulls up, but he pulls his gun on like children and women, and I guess he tries to grab somebody's purse at gunpoint,
Ah.
and he gets shot like immediately by this off-duty cop, because she had the gun. Like, she had her purse like this, and she pulled the gun up
Ready to roll.
right behind the purse. And, like, as he pulled his gun away and off target of people, she's just like, whoop, bam! And then the guy goes right down, and he's like, oh, don't hurt me anymore. And he's just crying like a little bee. Little bee.
Little bee. Bzz, bzz. This reminds me of a clip I saw the other day where someone is rolling up to a tinted vehicle that's running,
Mm-hmm.
and that you can't tell if someone's inside or not. So a guy, seedy-looking individual, rolls up to the vehicle, kind of looks in it, can't see anyone. He's thinking of stealing it. So he walks away. He walks back. He's like, I think I see someone in there. I'm not sure. So this is all on a security camera. You can see the whole thing. And he walks just off camera, and he comes back with his gun, like as he pulled it out of his pants, whatever, his little gun. So he walks up to the tinted window, and he's like knocking on the window, and he can't really see inside, but he knows that there's someone in there, and he's going to carjack him. He's like, get, ding, ding, ding. So the window rolls down, and whoever it is had gun, just shoots him like 4 times or whatever. I think he kills him instantly. I'm not sure if he died on camera. I'm not sure.
They
But I
deserve
thought,
it.
damn.
You can't even scope out your target.
Well, I think he thought, they're like, damn, I think someone's in there, but it's probably some old lady. I'm going to steal it.
What if it's an empty car? You're just standing there waiting.
Oh, then he may have busted through it at that point. I don't know, because he has the gun in his hand.
It'd probably take him about 5 seconds, or the length of time that it takes for a child to be born in the United States.
Oh, 5 seconds. Oof,
Mhm.
That was way off. I was
Every
skipping a
5
couple
seconds.
babies there.
Yeah. I mean,
So you,
they're not all yours,
statis-
right? Hopefully.
The way you said that, not all yours, right?
I mean,
No, I hope
a
not.
man
I hope
produces
not.
how many? 500 million or 500 billion sperm? I'm off by
Oh,
a
lifetime?
few. Yeah,
Lifetime? Yeah, billion.
billion. 500 billion.
Uh-huh.
You might be able to
Oh.
repopulate the Earth about like 50 times.
I think women are just as good. They have at least 500 eggs.
Man, we're good with statistics. We remember shit. We're
Uh,
smart.
I
you're
really might
accurate.
not be right with my
No, you're
my
accurate
egg.
with that. I will give you
What?
that.
Good. Okay, cool.
Man, we're
Ooh.
good. We're good. So yeah, I actually had a child born on less than a week ago. Not gonna give his actual
Holy crap!
birthday.
You're back podcasting?
We only
That's
skipped
good.
one actually.
We did miss one. I docked Dan.
He what?
Unpandered Dan. Missed one. I docked him.
Oh, I've been docked.
I know. At the end of the year, your paycheck will reveal it.
I'm gonna lose a penny.
What am I
Holy
missing?
crap.
Ah, less than a penny.
Yeah, well, yeah, more like half, like a fraction, like a 10% of a penny.
Oh yeah, about a tenth of a penny. We're good with math here, folks. Exciting. Is it as exciting the second time around? I don't know.
So this is one of the things that I actually want to talk about because, like
Okay.
some people, they have their first child, and for me, I was just like, oh, it's a baby, and it doesn't. I don't know that it hits people really. The first time
Too many
around.
things going on at the same time? Would you say
Think-
that?
Do you think what?
There's too many things going on at once?
Yeah, because you don't know what the future holds, and then there's 10 people in the room trying to do all sorts of crazy stuff. My wife had a C-section, so like. There's all
Let's slow
sorts
it down. Hold on. Let's slow it down and do, because there's a lot of people watching right now who've never had a baby.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you can go get one every 5 seconds.
It's easy.
Just bring a gun. Go to the infirmary.
Don't
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
You're gonna get shot like that guy in the Mama Bear video.
Anyway, babies are born all the time. People have them all the time, but actually having one is weird. It's crazy. It's not magical and glowing and
No.
like loving,
It has
but it's also not disgusting. The worst thing I've ever seen. I can't believe we just
Oh,
saw
no.
that horror show.
Your
It's-
baby is definitely covered in blood and random stuff, and you're like, that's still pretty. It's kind of a beautiful baby, but it's
Okay.
It's alien too. It's like you're looking at the umbilical cord, and you're like, what is this like translucent thing with like a blood vessel in it, and it's like rubbery. It's like it doesn't feel weird when you cut it. You're just like, that's
You cut?
strange.
They ask you to
I
cut.
cut the
you
first
did it?
one. The second baby, they're like, he doesn't need it.
They didn't care about you. They're
No,
like,
we didn't even
you-
get the photo person to come around and try to hawk photos.
Really?
Yeah,
They were like, we're not even trying round two. I didn't.
These people.
Interesting.
screw it.
I guess you get them on the first timers. So the first time you have your baby, a lot's going on. I have a baby. That's my son was about that. My son
You
was
want
a
to
baby.
describe your time?
Sure. We were C-section, and she had low placenta. Is that a thing? Is that too
Tiny?
personal?
Tiny, too tight. It was too sharp.
No, low. The
It was
placenta was
below.
just up.
Okay. I think that
It's like
yeah.
down. They're like, if it's that low, you might want to just.
We got one of those too. It was like something's not quite right. We're gonna tweak it, but you can't really fix it. So you're better off just taking it out.
Right,
So,
you
yeah,
might as well.
sure, okay.
So, you're all this build up, all this time. She's always complaining, I want this thing out of me, and you're like, I'm gonna be a parent, I guess. What do? You baby proof stuff and you buy diapers? Like, I don't know. Like you don't know what happens.
No, the first time around, you're just like, okay, let's see what hits me in the
And
face.
you're listening to so much advice, and all the advice is
Oh.
like weird. It's like, make sure you don't feed them after 4, and then if they cry for whatever, change their diaper at 6 every night, and then always make sure a bit of whiskey on the tooth. And then it's like, okay, Grandma, that's great. And then someone else would be like, the thing you want to do is you got to make sure your baby is you want to use talcum powder. What I found is talcum powder. And you're writing this down. You're like, talcum powder? Okay.
Okay.
And then like there's all this weird stuff, and it's coming out of left field, and they're like, if your kid's crying, just let him cry. It's better to let him cry for an entire evening, even if it takes 9 hours. It'll pay off. And you're like, yeah, let him cry 9 hours. And then someone else is like, anytime the baby's crying, it needs human contact. The skin develops things that will warm the baby and give him better nutrients. And
You
you're
gotta
like,
sweat all
yeah,
over the baby.
nutrients, yeah.
Hold
They're
your
like,
baby in a
let-
sauna.
Let the
and we'll
baby
survive
poop
longer.
on you. Poop on you. and you're just like, you're writing down everything everyone says, and you're like, oh my god,
That's
I got 8
fantastic.
pages, and you don't know what any of it means. You don't know if any of it's bullcrap. You don't know if some of it's important. You don't know if all of it's extremely important. You're just like, yeah, sure, okay.
And then you get all the generalities where people are just like spitting out stuff they've heard from other people. They don't even have children themselves. They're just like, oh yeah, you're gonna.
She's
so
carrying like
tired.
this.
It's a boy. Yeah, it's a boy. It's so it's so low.
You're like, okay, good,
Yeah,
good.
sure. Okay, thanks.
Did you do the gender the first time, or were you surprised, or how'd you do?
We knew it was coming. We had so many ultrasounds. That's another thing. Ultrasounds, they cost about $150, and we did like 10 of them. Huh, fuck it. Might as well.
So here's a weird thing, and maybe I'm the only one who felt this way. I don't know. When they do ultrasounds, when they do measuring your baby, when they do
They're like, oh,
with
your
the
baby,
digital thing.
your baby's got a crooked finger. It's this one
Well-
right here. It's genetic. It's genetic. No, we don't know for sure.
No, it's not that stuff. But when they're like measuring the head and the lungs, and they're checking the heartbeat,
Mhm.
and they're doing all these things on the screen in front of you, the sone, the
Yep,
scenographer, or whatever they're called, the whatever, like they don't talk to you the whole time because they
They're not
can't break
supposed to.
down.
Yeah.
Right.
The doc has to say it.
But you get nervous. I got nervous as shit every time. I was like, is that a good number? Is that a bad number? I was like, she's not saying anything. That's a bad number. And then they measure the heart or something, and I'd be like, oh my god, the baby's got too big of a heart.
Yeah.
Oh
they
my
were-
god, the baby's heart's too small. And I'm like looking, and I'm trying to get a hint from the way they're drawing their circles and writing their notes, but they'll measure it, and then they go,
They did like a little.
And you're like, yeah, and then they
Oh.
they type it in, and I'm like, add one, and then I'm like, I mean, subtract one.
larger. It needs to be larger. It's not covering the whole
Take one away,
thing.
take one away. It's smaller. But I nervous because it's like the one thing I couldn't control was my baby's health. Like
The
I
multiple.
don't know.
The multiple is that you're the dad. You have no control over any of it, and all
Right.
like
It's
there's
not
no
even her
control
body.
even for the
Nothing.
female. Like the female
Right,
can't
right.
give any control either. But she's freaking out more than you are, and you're just trying not to feed it.
Right. You just want to, and then to not feed it, what do? You be quiet. So then the ultrasound person's quiet, you're quiet, and then she's quiet because no one knows what the heck to say. It's not like you can have a warm conversation like, "Hey,
how many
you see what
babies do you do?
how about the Knicks? The Knicks are really making moves in the off season, I heard." And everyone just looks at you and goes back to typing, ignores it entirely. Okay, I'm telling you, the Knicks this year, man, this is their year. So it's just, that's the scariest stuff for me with babies, the medical stuff that I can't
they get
control.
into the jargon, the numbers, and really like,
Yeah.
I wonder, because mine was underweight by, it was like the curve goes like, whoosh, like a nice little spread, and he was on the bottom, but he was following it, which is good, following the curve. I'm not that tiny, but my wife is a tiny person. She's not a little person, but she's small. Just to clarify.
Oh my god. Oh, notes.
She's smaller than
note
average.
taking going on.
So, I mean, I feel like they have so much like a hesitance. Like if this is a little bit different than what we've seen before, they're not gonna say everything's fine. This is perfect. There's no problems. Like that's like lawsuit for the hospital.
Right, so they don't say anything.
Exactly. They're just like, we're gonna check on something. We're just gonna monitor it, and it's gonna cost you a shit ton of money. So they're just gonna keep going. You're just like, at least I'm gonna hit the max on my stupid insurance, and it's just gonna just take
Right.
Take
Let's
it all now.
let's hit the max today.
Yeah.
How much for the sonograph? Here,
Yeah.
$6,000.
How many can you do right now?
I'm
I
not
want to
going
do
to
them
charge
all.
me for anything, man. I'm not going to pay for anything after this.
What is completely unnecessary? Let's do that.
Yeah.
Is it covered by insurance? Perfect. There we go.
2, please.
Mhm.
Of 2 of whatever procedure.
Can you do
want
me
to
too?
perform.
I want to see what's inside me.
Yeah. Sonograph.
Fine on the
This
table.
dad belly. This daddy wants some rays inside of him. Woo. So then the big day comes and the actual birth happens.
Yeah.
Now, was your first a natural or first was C-section?
We made an attempt, and then midway through they're like, this ain't working. They've got some problems, and we're going
One
to
of
do
those
it now.
deals like the labor is too long or something's going on without getting too crazy.
Yeah, so it was he was in distress. He was in distress multiple times. They're like, the heart rate dropped out.
When you hear that, you're like, oh my god.
And the thing is, we were watching like a movie. She was in labor, but she wasn't that bad. And then I had like stuff. I just had stuff everywhere. And then the doc was like, without even giving us a hint, was just like, we gotta go. And it's like, what? I was like, when we come back, we're not in the same room, so you gotta get up all your shit. Just like,
Excuse me?
gotta,
Yeah, you do the double blink. Excuse me?
everything. And
Is
then I
there
was like,
is there a-
like grabbing everything around me.
Yeah.
I was like, I was stuffing all the like cords and stuff. And my wife's like, whoa, get that as well. And I need that. And then she's getting wheeled out of the room. I'm like, what did you say you needed?
What'd you say? We need one more thing. I need her hair thing. The thing she does with her hair. She needs that. You have any idea? My baby's in trouble. And like, yeah, I understand. It's a weird dynamic because you're like, really, here's a weird way
Really
to put
concerned, but you can't do anything. And
You're really concerned. You can't do anything. And this is a third one that no one wants
You're
to
a third
say. And maybe
wheel.
I sound cold. No, I sound cold saying this. It's for someone you don't even like know, or like you don't know how important this is. You know how important it is because everyone has told you your whole life, but you really don't understand that what this baby is even. Like you don't know.
You don't know what it really means. And the people
No.
who do it the first time, they have the child, and they're just like, the first picture they take, they're like, they say something like, "Oh, this is the greatest gift ever given to," like you.
No
like,
goddamn
you
idea.
don't-
You just took a picture of a baby that showed up.
It's like the Nintendo when I was a little kid. Like that was the greatest gift I ever got when I was honestly like until the second one, which is a different story because you now know
You understand what's happening.
just to be a little
But
bit.
we're focusing on the
contradictory.
first one here, so I can be involved here. But yeah, there's something weird and hypocritical about being like, you literally have no clue what's going on, but you pretend. Is there a pretending that happens with the first one?
I don't
like
pretend.
you pretend.
I'm not bullshit. I don't bullshit at all.
I don't usually, but I still remember. So let's just go to the birth.
It's beautiful.
Well-
It's beautiful.
Well, so we were C-section, and I sat behind the they pull up a sheet. Okay, go ahead.
Before you even get there, so like they took her behind and you were waiting, right? There's like a waiting room where you're just like you're not allowed to see the prep and the initial,
Yeah, I was not allowed. Yeah.
which is weird. And then you're just like trying to find out what's happening. You're waiting, and you're just like, well, I'll just chill out. And
I
like,
was
play
in the
on my
hallway.
phone.
I was in the hallway.
Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
in the hallway too, in front of the door, and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
doors open, and then like some other woman gets wheeled like past, like, and they're like, "Sir, sir," and I was like, "Oh, that's not my wife." I was like, "Privacy.
Nope.
She needs privacy,"
Nope.
and they kicked
Get-
me out of
everyone
the
get out the
hallway.
way.
Get in the room.
Oh,
It's
it's so crazy. They made you. Oh.
Mhm.
Huh.
So I was like, it's a weird design for a hospital. You can't stand at the door. I was like, whatever. But yeah, you wait, and it's like a weird wait because they like, I guess they're prepping her, giving an epidural, they're
Right.
making sure
all
everything's
the
set.
IVs, everything's connected, all the machines are working 100%. God forbid. Holy shit.
Yeah,
man.
covering their medical liability.
Yeah, they do.
Probably that's.
I mean, it sounds cold, but they do. I mean, that's their job, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, and the curious thing is like, I'm medically studied, and then my parents are medically. One of them's trained, and one of them's a medical salesman.
Gifted. Wasn't one of them a mutant?
Yeah, medically gifted. He holds up his hand, and it's just a scalpel. And he's like, "I make beautiful cuts." You're now a woman. It's like, no.
Yes.
But yeah. So like, I'm aware of what's going on, and like, I could follow along to a medical conversation, but no one gives a
Yeah.
shit. Like, they're not going to be
No,
like, let's
you're-
include this guy. No, like, let's make him follow along. They don't. They're like,
Hey,
they're
hey,
doing
come
a
over
job
here.
that's
I
necessary.
know you know 70% of what we're doing. Let me explain the other 30% that I went to medical school for. So here we're doing, they don't
Yeah.
give a shit. They're
They're not
like,
gonna-
listen, I got work. I don't care if you know sort of what I'm doing. It would be like if you went to your mechanic and he was like doing a pretty big procedure and you're like, well, I changed the brakes. Let's go over this, big guy.
Yeah.
What's that screw you're undoing over here? I did the brakes. He's like, and he's like still doing it, and you're like, let me tell you, I can change a mean oil. And he's like getting into the transmission and everything,
He's
and
just
you're
getting
like,
pissed at you.
yeah, exactly. He's like, I don't have time. Go away.
So I will say that on the doctor's part, that what they do is pretty fantastic. That they like, it's so regular for them that it don't like
Well,
their
that
heart rate
makes me
doesn't
feel
spike
like
at all.
it's not fantastic though. Do you know what I mean? They're literally doing physical jobs.
Yes.
They're like, and then I do this, then I do this. That's why they keep the humanity out of it. They're not like, oh my god, this is someone's baby.
This is
Like, you know what I
beautiful.
mean?
Can't
It's
believe
gorgeous.
gift of life
No.
right here. Like, no, doctor, please.
They're like, I do like 40 of these a week. I don't care. Doctor, my baby. 1 for 39. You know? He just has a chalkboard behind him. He just X's one out.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He's got a big
But,
red mark on a couple of them. You're like, oh.
You're like, oh. And he's like, don't worry, it was recent. I'm due for a good one.
So you got called back. You're behind the sheet, like I was
Mhm.
behind the sheet. Did you
I
stand
picked up
up
that
and try to
sheet.
look
No, but I looked above and they had something
like a monitor?
metallic.
Ah,
No, something
Good.
metallic, so I could see the reflection.
Off-center reflection.
Right, it was like this one of those
Distorted,
weird,
Yeah.
distorted images. So I could look up and I was like, that's a lot of red. Around my girlfriend's midsection, I was like, oh my god, it's probably like just open. So with a C-section, I believe they cut you around it's below the belly button, right?
Yeah, between the belly button and the vag, I would say. Technical terms.
Right there between, and it's a horizontal cut, right?
Yeah, horizontal.
So they
Most
cut,
of the
they
time.
go like this, and then what I heard and what I kind of saw
Squishies.
was that your stomach muscles are there. So they just have to just jerk those muscles to the side.
The first
Pull 'em.
time, I stood up and I took a picture, and like
No, you didn't.
they have a clamp that goes like right in there, and then they kind of like pull it. Like there's no sound that it makes, but this is a podcast, so
You need the sound.
so
This is a podcast. Anyway, go ahead.
so it's about like 6 inches wide that they make the thing, and it turns from like a slit to an oval, so it's like almost
Yeah.
circular.
Huh?
And the second one, I got to see it. They messed up. There's a whole bunch of TVs, and they monitored like regular stats on one, and then they switched it to like straight down view, so I got to see the baby and the water break, and it was just like I like that because I'm medically trained, but other people probably
Right.
like, oh.
I wouldn't throw up, but I wouldn't like it. I'd be like doing this.
No, I thought it was awesome, and the nurses were like, "Oh, you made a mistake. You made a mistake. Change the camera." But like, well, like my wife saw it, she'd probably be like, but she was already out of it. She was gone at that point.
Well, wait. So what was she doing at the time? I remember my girlfriend. I was like holding her hand. And I was like, I kept telling her, "You're doing so good,"
Yeah.
and she was like, "What? Yeah." She's
They-
out of it.
So they literally are moving your organs around, and like to get the baby out, they have to do it really quickly, and they have to make sure they don't damage things. So they're like moving organs around and shifting their body. So she's like jerking a little bit.
Right,
She's
right. They
looking
kind
at you. She's trying to figure out
People
what's
think
going
medically
on.
stuff is very clean and everything. There's a lot of
No.
like physical jerkiness. They're like, move over here, get over there, move this,
Yep.
jerk. Oh, we're gonna move it, and push it.
It's almost like wrestling with somebody on the inside of their body.
Yep.
God bless.
You know, it's unprofessional of the podcast.
But that's what my wife was doing. She was like burping, and she like
Really?
any food that was in her stomach, since it was like a quick one the first time that came up. Like literally, there's like pushing your stomach into your throat.
Did you throw up?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So it's like
Awesome.
it's contradiction, because like there's the vision in your mind was that you're gonna hold your baby next to your beautiful wife and she's gonna smile, but she puked within like 10 seconds like of doing that. So you're just like, oh, like, and you hold up your baby and just like, smile. This is a fantastic picture.
So they're doing this thing, and like I felt out of place being in the room because
You can't do anything.
I couldn't help medically. I couldn't help my girlfriend feel anyway because she was out of it.
Gone, yeah.
It's almost like it was here's your reward. You get to sit here, enjoy your reward. And I was like, I didn't sign up for this reward. Like almost a weird thing. And again, I'm not knocking the whole process, but I'm not medically whatever. What do you call yourself? Medical pervert? No.
Medically studied,
Yes.
not
studied.
trained.
Trained, right?
Not
Studied.
trained.
Not trained, folks. But they finally pulled out my son,
You
and
should've,
I was
yeah.
like, I do want to say that is cool because it's a little bit like the opposite of someone dying. Have you ever been in the room with someone who dies?
I've not been in the room with someone who died. But
Okay, my grandmother was taking her last breaths, et cetera, et cetera. Everyone's around crying and holding hands and stuff. I was like 13 or something. And I remember like people are like, no one's talking. And she's like dying. And she had cancer, everything. And finally she takes this like big gasp. And then like a full minute goes by and she takes another big gasp. And I was like, it looks like there's a word for it where you're like drowning or something. Or I can't remember the word. It's really a little disturbing if you're 13. But it's like... And then you're like out for like 20 seconds. And then you take another big breath. And then you do it like 3, 4, 5 times, 10 times. I don't remember how many times.
On the verge
And
of
eventually,
death.
right, because you're just dying. They take you off all the machines and everything. And then you stop. And like 3 minutes go by. And no one says, she's dead. Like no one says anything.
No one busts
It's-
in.
No, but there's a weird thing in the room where I think there were 6 people in the room at the time, including my grandmother.
You don't want to be the first one to speak.
Right, but this is the weird thing. So there are 6 people in the room, including my grandmother. You don't logically think of other people in the room, but there's my aunt, my father, my mother, a cousin, like someone. There's always people in the room, and in your brain, you always associate a person with a position they are in a room with you.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a scientific thing, a social thing, or whatever.
Uncle, brother, mom, aunt.
Not even just that, just like it's a person, and you put an identifier on them. My
Okay.
friend Jim, my cousin, my so-and-so.
Got it.
Someone's in the room. If a person's in a room with you, you know it.
Yeah.
It's like innate. It's a thing. Well, when someone dies, it's like there were 6 of you. Now there are 5. And it's the weirdest thing because there were 6 and no one left the room, but now there are 5. Yeah, I can't explain it. It's a thing that if you experience, it's like there are only 5 people in this room right now. And no one moved, no one changed. And it's like it hits you in a weird way.
The
But
connection
it was the
just
opposite.
fades.
But it was quick because I didn't know when it happened. Like, you wait a couple minutes to see if there's another breath, and there wasn't. Now, with my son coming into the room, it was like there was 4 doctors, my girlfriend, me, another doctor back here. I don't know what he's doing. He's creepy. He's in the
creepy
corner.
guy.
Are you going to help? Are you going to help?
He's just like, he doesn't really exist. You're wondering, you're like, is this? No.
Is he real?
Is he a Reaper? He's not a Reaper.
But it was the opposite with my son because suddenly there's a new person in the room.
Hmm.
It was like a person that didn't exist in anywhere, just happened. It was like a seventh person, and it was like, this person's a baby, this person's crying, this person sounds like a pterodactyl.
Yeah.
My son sounded like a pterodactyl. It was like,
He's
and they
flailing
were
his
like,
arms, like,
oh,
swinging them around for no reason.
But it was funny because they wanted me to cut the umbilical cord, and I didn't. I forgot that they did that, so I was like, "Yeah, give it to me." And it was those awful scissors where the one side's long, and I was like, I tried it like 3 times, it wouldn't really cut, so someone had to come over and help me. And they were like,
pushing your fingers
jab
together.
it in there. And I was like, okay.
It's hard to cut, man. That thing's like
It is
rubbery.
It's rubbery. Yeah.
Huh.
So then they're like, don't, Dad, stay here. They call you Dad. It's the best. They call you Dad the whole time.
They don't
lot of
call you
dad.
your first name because they don't know your first
Not
name.
at all. They don't give a damn.
Everyone's a dad to them.
Dad,
Any
stay here.
man in that room is a dad.
So then they bring them over and they got to do, I think there's like 8 tests they do. They don't tell you this.
Oh yeah, they're
I
checking
think
off
there's hidden
boxes. And they're
tests.
saying,
Dude, they're O2 levels and stuff like this. It's not like a height weight thing. They're doing some weird stuff and you know it, but they won't tell you. They're like, bring him over here, everyone. Creepy guy. We need you, creepy guy. And they like,
That's one thing I missed is like the first time I was just like, oh, he's born. Oh, he's holding my finger. Oh, I think he understands what I'm saying. And like he's responding. The second time it was made like a little bit more somber because he was like, he's on the edge of like needing to go to the ICU, the NICU.
Like, didn't weigh a lot.
Yeah, but he was actually bigger than my first one, so he's actually stronger too. It's weird how you start to compare them, but like they had like the oxygen mask on him and the little warmer thing, and you could see like I was there when like the redness, like he has like purple body, and you could see the line of oxygen filling up his body slowly,
filling him up. That's
it's
cool.
like his health bar was like do 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 do.
Fish. But I mean, I went over with my son, and they were like, "Bring him back to the mother." And I had never held a baby before, and B, my own son.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this weird disconnect where I know this is the most important person in my life, and I know this is my future, and I know he's everything, and this is the most beautiful moment in my life. But it's this thing that was in my hand, and I didn't know how to hold him, and I was like,
They're moving around, they're squirming. Their heads are going like, you're just like, whoa, stop doing that.
It's just like, it's like a thing, and I didn't know what was comfortable for it, and I was like, do I look cool? And like, it's kind of like a combination of, how does it look? Is he cool? And then I showed him to his mother, and I was like, he's ours. And like, I was trying to be as, like, because she's out of it. She has no clue what I'm saying. All the doctors are still in the room, but they're cleaning up and doing their thing. So it's just like me putting on a show, but I didn't know what the show was.
Yeah.
And it was so weird. I was like, he's ours. And he's like making dinosaur noises, crying. And I'm like, it's beautiful. Like, I didn't know, you know what I mean? It was just so weird, but it was beautiful, but it was weird.
So
I've never done it.
The first time it felt like it was rushed through, so I did what you did. I held him.
Yeah.
And
it was, oh my God, yeah.
Awkwardly holding him next to her, took a photo op, and then boom, he was gone, and we're in the next room.
I don't know what I'm supposed to be enjoying. If that makes sense.
That's also true. But the second time, I'll say the second time.
You figure
it took a lot longer because he was on the fence because his oxygen levels were a little bit lower, and like they called in like another team, like a NICU team to evaluate him. So like my wife, she was out. Like they gave her some medicine and she was just like boom, she was gone. I didn't have to photo op with anybody. I was just next to him, and like being a dad already, like I know he can feel my touch and he can hear what I say, but he can't really see you. Their vision is blurry the first 2 weeks or so. So like I was talking to him and he like. The way he would respond, like I already know like the tones that my son enjoys, like the calm down, you're okay. Like if I start talking to him, he'd like calm down, stop crying, and like I think they realize that like I'm already a dad. Like most people ask you that in the hospital. Like there's 90% women on staff. It's a sexist environment, I will say, but
I would say
for purposely. But like the women there. They all came together. There was like 4 of them around my baby trying to decide whether you go to the NICU. and like they're all so indecisive. They're like, well, his blah blah blah, his blah blah blah.
Hold
They're
on.
trying to figure out.
So this would be weird for me. How did you feel? Did you want someone to just solidly weigh in on one or the other? Because wouldn't it be weird if someone's like, I think he's okay, and you're like, is he gonna be goddamn okay? Like, do you know what I mean? It's like if he needs to give him the goddamn NICU.
The thing that bothers me is that they're always searching for like some reason or like some excuse, like not to be like, they don't want to pinpoint and say, oh, they'll never say he's 100% perfect or like you're
Right.
This is the most beautiful baby. Like they're never gonna be like give anything factual about your baby being physically 100%. So like I'm waiting there, and it literally took about 20 minutes for them to talk back and forth and like decide, and like they're like, what about this? Like, what about that? And I was just like, oh.
Could you hear the whole thing?
Yeah, I was standing right there.
Did they know you could?
What am I? Yeah, and they don't know that like I'm aware of like what they're talking about, and like the level. What they tell you is like they'll give you a number, like 95 is a good number for partial oxygen. SPOX. I don't know what that is, but
Yeah, that's so weird. Mine was in for pneumonia or whatever. Did you hear that?
yeah, I heard that.
Someone just won American Idol, folks.
Woohoo!
Probably. But I think we had to keep my son above 90 or 92.
It's 95 for the
level. Well, this is a newborn. I'm
Pulse
saying mine
oxygen.
was like a year and a half old.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that might be different.
Right. But weird.
So yeah, we're waiting,
So-
and he was fine eventually. But still, it's the difference of opinion between medical staff that really like puts you on not on edge, but like stuff doesn't add up sometimes.
Right. You know, there's other variables that no one's talking about,
Yeah.
or other opinions that are happening, and you're like, what are they? Let's hear them. I know what's going on.
And the way, since it's 90% female, the way women argue about things is like really passive in a way. They're not gonna like be like they. I mean, as they're medically trained, they're trained to talk about A, B, C, and D. But then they start like once you get past all those things, it's like, well, what do you think about? What do you think about?
What do you think about? Well, I don't know about.
None of them take charge and say, "This baby's." I mean, we don't need to do this. Not
But
like
do you hold on? But do you want to be the person that does take charge?
none of them
That's
do.
a weird thing, right? I mean, would you want to? I wouldn't.
I don't think I would.
I'm just saying. I mean, he's fine.
Yeah, don't worry about
Someone's
it.
over there like, it'll be good.
Fired.
If not, it's a baby. He's got one already.
That's
You
another
don't
thing.
need a second.
The babies are actually pretty resilient. It's surprising. Like they're very fragile, but not as fragile as they look, and they're stronger than they
Right.
look. It's like, whoa.
Well, they're dealing with some pretty big trauma. They go from an amniotic sac filled with all their nutrients to like open daylight. Wait, what did we talk about at one point? All the germs they get covered in day one, or
New bacteria.
biomes, and new bacteria that they've never been introduced to, and they're like thrust into a world where they have to breathe through their mouth, and like light is shining in their face, and they've never used their eyes really.
They're cold. Like the main things that they cry about are being cold, or not, or being hungry. What's the third one? Is that they just need to poop or fart. Yeah.
Ooh, right, yeah, probably something like that.
And they're poking him too. They need to check his blood, so they're poking him, getting blood out of
Yo,
him.
you guys have meconium, dude?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, folks.
First poop.
Yo, I don't leave that without that meconium, baby.
How many diapers did you change? Like, what percentage do you think of the first?
Well, hold on. I'll tell you. With mine right now, I probably changed 65% of the diapers.
I mean,
Dude,
while in
I'm
the
a-
hospital. While in the hospital. Because I have another bit on there.
I
Let
bit.
the nurses do. Yeah,
Hey,
that's
this is my bit.
It's my
hey.
bit.
Welcome to
change
New
your
York. I was very hands-on with my son, but you know the meconium?
Yeah.
He pooped it into my hand.
Oh, wow. Did it shoot out like a tar snake?
No, it was like a slow-moving snake, and I was literally changing his diaper because
It's
it
like
was
one
wet.
of those like black discs that you light on fire, and it's like shh, it's moving slowly, but it sticks and stays on
I went to wipe him because it was like wet and like whatever, and I had to wipe my hand. There was like a little something smudge, brown smudge. I went to wipe it, and he was maybe a day, 2 day old. I'm not sure, probably a day. And the rest of that, for those folks at home, meconium is the first poop a baby has. because the baby
First number of
has
poops. Could be multiple. I found out
But
it's
what
like
is it?
6.
It's because it's not real food. It's
It's like the
stuff
stuff
they've
that
been
builds
fed
up.
through
Yeah.
the-
In
through the umbilical.
inside, yeah.
the
Inside the
baby's
womb
never
it builds
pooped.
up.
Right. Baby's never pooped, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
So this is the first poop a baby will have. Incredible, folks. Beautiful.
The stuff it like turns green when you get it
Gorgeous.
like you spread it
It's like
out
green
and
and
it's like
black and very tarry. Yeah.
I actually wiped and like he had some like inside of him like his butthole and when I wiped his like I like pulled it out of him and I'm
Still
like
going?
is this-
Yeah, it's still
do you wanna
connected.
do that?
Come on,
I
dude.
was like I'm just gonna wipe I'm gonna clean this up because this
Well,
can't be bad.
So I'm cleaning my kid's butt because I see something on there, and like I was changing his diaper anyway. It was wet day one or whatever, and I'm like, oh, this is easy. I got a wet wipe in my hand. Well, as soon as I did it, he just must have just relaxed, and all that poop came out into my hand, and I was like trying to catch it with the wet wipe, and I was like, oh, this is terrible.
The other thing is that you have nurses there, but the nurses I guarantee 100% they don't want to change a dirty diaper. Like there's no point.
Yeah, they probably changed so many diapers. They're like, these guys know what they're doing. No, they're fine.
So
oh my God, they're homeless. They'll be fine.
But you're also paying the nurse to be there and do this. So there's an awkward
You
bit where
are-
you're like,
Oh.
like I'm like if
Hold on,
I could
please
pretend to
do.
fall asleep and stay asleep, I'm like listening. I'm like,
Oh,
yeah,
you
you
did
change
that?
that diaper. I'm just like, I'm not, I'm not
Did
gonna.
you do that? Did you do it?
Of course, I mean they come in every 10 minutes. Can I get
They
your
do.
vitals?
They
Can I
do.
do blah
They
blah
don't
blah?
let you sleep. They don't let you sleep, dude.
That's the worst part. It's really like
It is.
the second baby slept like 3 hours at a time. He'd wake up and he'd be like, boom, feed, 30 minutes, he's gone. 3 hours later, he'd be gone. So he kept waking up and it was fine. But the nurses and everyone else, they'd show up at like 11 at night, 12, like midnight. They'd be like, let's do this, let's do that. Let's check breastfeeding. Like every nurse is like, can I show you
Have
how
you
to breastfeed?
got the latch on?
Oh, yeah, let's check the latch. Let's check the latch.
And
it's like they're all a little different. They all have their own commentary, and they're all
You got
making my wife nervous. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, they do. They make everyone nervous. They're like, "Has he been latching on at the right angle?" And you're like, "Well, he was latching on, but I
Let's
didn't
get
hear
the
about this
football
ankle
hold.
thing."
Let's go to the
Can
football hold.
Can you tell me about the ankle?
Audible.
Yeah,
Let's do
the
the audible
football.
right now.
You got boob traction every time. Everything good?
Oh, everything's great. The thing is, he's strong. Like he's just like right on top of it, and he's like 10 seconds later, he's in.
This
he's on.
nipple
He's in
is mine.
Yeah.
Boom.
There's also a weird thing that happens with the nipple play prior to having baby, that like those are mine. When you get sexually active, you're getting a little physical, and then within like maybe a month, maybe 2
With
weeks,
the
she's
wife,
like,
not the baby, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Make sure.
She's like, this doesn't. I don't know. It's like, well, this is. I'm like, but I like it, so I'm just gonna. She's like, stop. Like I'm not feeling it. So you're like,
Wait,
those
how-
aren't
how
mine
quick
anymore.
before the birth?
I think
What are you
like
talking
2
about?
weeks. 2 weeks before the birth, it was definitely like,
It was over. It was off.
yeah, off limits. Like this is like there's some weird chemical thing that
Fun
happens
bags
to women.
turned food bags.
Yeah, food bags or.
Once it was a food bag, you're out, dude. Unless you're hungry.
Oh.
Sorry. I just wanted to laugh
So
like that.
have you tasted breast milk before?
Mm.
No, it's not
I
that
think I
bad.
sprayed some in our coffee because, like, they have the pumps or whatever.
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
fill the pump or whatever. I think it was like going bad or.
Might as well.
You can keep them for a week. Is that what it is? Oh my god,
Freeze
it's so
it for
weird.
months.
Yeah,
You forget,
if
you forget
though.
everything. I will tell you that. You're like, this
That's so
happens.
crazy that you say that because I forgot we used to do breast pumps and freeze it and have it for later. And then like I knew the ounces to the T. I couldn't tell you how many friggin' ounces a kid has. Is it 2 or 3 or 1 or 3? I have no idea. It's been so long.
I'm not gonna help you.
God
I haven't
damn.
got.
Nothing for the audience.
We just started. I don't like. It starts with like 2-ounce bottles with a colostrum.
Okay,
It's
and then
just
they
like
get more and more, right? Okay.
Yeah, they go to like 4 and then go to 8. I don't think they go to 16. I'm not sure. We haven't gotten there yet. It's like a Slurpee
My child will need a pounder of breast milk.
cup. Yeah.
Full pounder? Yeah.
Pull
He's
to the
gonna
next
go
window.
mustache.
Yeah. They just
Wiping that milk mustache off. Ooh, boy.
They just have 3 different hose sizes and then just blast it in your car.
So another crazy thing on first child is you're in the hospital. People come into that room every 10 minutes. You got to sign 800 forms. There's 400 different people. I don't even know half the positions. I'm the head nurse of lactation. I'm the poop nurse. I make sure everyone's pooping fine. I'm the nurse who's checking on your girlfriend. Is she fine? Is she pooping fine? And then there's a poop nurse for her poop. And then there's so many nurses. I'm the head nurse. I'm just here to tell you I'm the head nurse.
I'm the vagina nurse for the
sure
outside.
The other nurse. Yeah.
I'm the inside vagina nurse.
Vagina. We were had C-section. I'm the C-section nurse. It's like, oh my god, so many goddamn people. So when it comes time to leave, everyone's relieved. It's been 3-4 days. I think C-section's 3 to 4, right?
Let's go.
Natural birth is 2 to 3.
Something like that.
Right.
It's a freaking headache. You can't sleep. The only reason.
So,
it's the only reason you can't
The
sleep.
weird thing is when everyone and their mother comes out to the car, make sure the car seat works, make sure the baby seat works, make sure the baby's in right, and then they did this at our place. I don't know if that was a big thing.
That bothers me though. It's like,
hold on.
Dude,
so this is the weird part, right? I'm like, hey,
get the hell away from me.
As soon as they were
What's
done,
your problem? Get the hell out of here.
And the door closed, and the car was running, and I walked over. No, and I walked over to the front and then back into the driver's seat, and I got in. And I think she sat in the back with him. Yeah, the first time we drove home, she sat in the back, and I was like, I don't know how to drive home. The weirdest thing, I drive for a living, and I was like scared to drive.
Go super slow. You roll down the window. You're like, nurse, can you drive me home? You've been doing everything.
All these people have been up your butt, annoying you, doing whatever, and now for the first time in your life, it's just you two.
So there's like an experience there that when you have a second child, you have 2 car
Okay,
seats.
so that's what I'm gonna ask you. So the second time, are you like, hey, peace, folks. I got the car seat. See ya.
I was just like making sure my wife wasn't like hurting herself in any way. Like, get in your car, baby's in the car.
Go.
I was like, I gotta pee.
Let's go.
You're gonna give me 5 minutes here.
I gotta pee. Come on.
So I took a piss, came back, everything was good. I was like, I didn't even think about like checking on the baby. He barely fit in the damn seat. Like,
so
he's
wait,
too
where's
small.
what's your first baby
First
during
baby.
all this?
It sounded like you were Swedish. First baby.
First baby.
So the first
during
baby
all
was at
this.
home being watched by his grandmother.
Okay, so stayed home, had nothing to do with this. So like, okay.
But we couldn't see him at all when you're driving. Like, usually there's a mirror,
Weird.
and I think there was a mirror in the back seat somewhere, but it wasn't on.
Yeah.
I was like, we probably should have done that beforehand. But, oh, well, let's go.
Let's go. First baby wouldn't have done that, I'll tell you that.
No. But it was really quiet. So, like, halfway through, I had to, like, stoplight. I, like, leaned back way and just, like, trying to see if I could see, like, a foot. That's another thing. So, that, like, I saw, like, the oxygen line or whatever, they turned from, like, a deep purple to, like, a pink, a reddish. And, like, my first baby, my first son, he had issues where I could tell, like, he couldn't breathe for, like, 30 seconds. So, like, I know immediately whether a baby is, like, dying or
really?
Yeah.
No, yeah, all right.
So, like, I just, like, look at their foot, and, like, if I could see their foot's pink, I'm like, he's fine. Like, he's not gonna...
Use the... Because it starts at the foot and works its way up. That's your signifier.
Yeah. Or the lips. The lips turn purple, too.
Okay.
That's the scary part. The lips turn deep purple, and you're just like, oh, do I have to react? Oh, I have to react to this. Let's do this. Let's fix this. Let's heal. I'm gonna heal this person,
Now,
this baby.
For the record, everything we're talking about tonight is not the callous, scientific, or but it's the factual part of baby birth.
Yeah. There's an
I mean,
element
there is
there.
a magical, cool stuff. There is a...
There's moments where you're just like,
Right. This
you
is
feel.
so beautiful.
I feel. I
Right.
do.
Right.
I'm not a psychopath.
We're not emotionless robots or think that having a baby is just a process. But it is. For those at home, it's both.
Just a checklist.
It's literally both.
really. I will have sex with you. Check.
I will have your baby. Great. I will take care of it with nutrients. You're like, we have nutrients. Check. But it's a weird balance between the two, I guess, mostly.
Yeah, because you have this like systematic method of like changing diapers and like feeding him, making sure he's okay, like the way you wrap him up, swaddle him, special
swaddle.
swaddles.
Dude, I
You probably forgot about
swaddle.
swaddling.
Dude, it's so weird that I forgot about these things, but I feel like they're so easy to pick up, I guess, right?
Yeah, well, at
Like,
first
did you
there's like
did you
people
take a
teaching
course
you.
for the second baby? Wait, did you have to do a course for the
I'm
second?
not doing a damn course on this shit. Fuck that.
Did you do a course on the first one?
I went to like one course on something,
Yeah,
and
I
then they
did one
told me at the
course,
end to check that like they were gonna do a test on the baby seat. And I was just like, do I really? I don't have to do this shit.
Baby seat. I'm telling you, everyone makes a big deal about the car seat. But so the second time around, you don't have to take any courses?
I'm not gonna take any courses. Who the hell?
Yeah. I'm just
No.
asking.
Dude, I'm
God.
nonconformist, so like anytime they're like, let's have
We
an
got a
all
rebel.
hands or
This
like
is the
an
rebel
assembly,
here.
and I'm just like, who needs this guard? Like I don't need
I mean,
degeneralized too.
I don't need no damn assembly.
But the first time I had
I
like a
put
nurse
the
show
ass
me.
in assembly.
This time around, like whenever a nurse was like, "Oh, let me just," I was like, "This is my second child," and they'd be like, "Oh, okay, you got it," and then like, "Back the hell off, lady." And there's some nurses that would not back off. They're like, "Oh, you got to do this, you got to do this," and I was just like, "Get out!" Like I wanted to say that, like, but my face did. My face was just like, I don't have to deal with your shit because I already know how to do all this.
Lady,
And I think
got
there's
memory card at this hospital.
there's a high percentage of, I would say, probably, just to make sure I'm not legally sued later on, there's probably a high percentage of feminists there that are like, they don't acknowledge men at all. Like you'll be sitting in the corner of the room or like waiting for someone to come in. They don't even look at you. They don't even say, "Oh, hi, hello." They
I
don't.
wonder if it's worse for me because like I don't even have the same last name.
They're like, "Oh, you're like."
Oh,
I felt like I was a
okay.
deadbeat. Like that's how they make you. Some of them make you feel. I will say that.
I guess
She's the
This-
patient. It's her child for
into-
sure.
right, it is
Maybe
right.
the father is the question mark after you fill out your name. They're like, "Are
Well,
you
think about it.
really?"
I mean, the mother can't be a question mark, right?
That's true. So they're not going to be like, "Who's?"
There's no question mark here. Like mother in quotes. Yeah. Okay, mother. I'm here for the father. What if she just consoled you, rubbed your back, and everything?
Yeah.
How are you doing today? Are you
How you
okay?
feeling?
Is she bothering you? Baby?
Does she need to leave the room? Can you wheel her out of here, please?
The baby. We can have her leave.
We have a room next door. You could stay right in. You'd be so great there.
Wifey, can you leave? We're trying to do something here. Trying to promote something. Maybe you can leave. That'd be amazing, by the way.
But swaddling, so no one showed me how to swaddle, and like now I'm just like, boom, boom, done. You mean that's all you need? You don't need some like, oh, you fold this part and then you like tuck it in there and you tuck it. It's like, no, you don't need any of that shit. You just
Tuck it
make
in
sure
there,
they can't effing move.
Yeah.
It's a straitjacket for babies. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, it's kind of is. Crazy. So, how's your second doing sleep-wise? You getting some good sleep? You feeling all right?
He's
You
like 3 hours. He'll sleep for 3 hours, wake up, boom, 30 minutes later, so back asleep. It's fantastic. I slept like almost a full night last night. I woke up right in the middle, did a diaper change, and boom, back at it. The problem here is the complication of having another child that's going to be the weekend child that doesn't follow a schedule that's helpful for me. And I say that painfully because I know he's going to wake up at like 6:30, stay up till like 8, and I'll have to watch him the whole time. And then he's like, "Oh, baby," and it's just like, no. Now I got to make sure you don't step on your mom, don't steal her medicine, don't try to grab the baby, don't do anything annoying. Just stay in the corner.
Don't help. Don't hurt. Don't do anything.
All right,
I want
Daddy.
help. Yeah.
Evil. Pure evil.
All right, Daddy. He. What was that? So, do you think what's maternity leave in the United States usually? Average. I know it's different every
So
job.
they give FMLA, which is guaranteed 3 months to come back to your original job, but they don't pay you. So she
Really?
has no
I
maternity
thought
leave.
some of it was paid at all. No?
There are some
No?
companies like oil companies around here. They'll give you like 2 or 3 months maternity leave and paternity leave. Some of them, like the schools.
Okay.
Yeah, like my brother-in-law, He got 3 months of paternity leave, which was better than my sister. So he got to take
Wait,
off.
that's really
That
funny.
sounds
He got
awful.
more-
I know.
That's awesome.
It's like what the hell's we're the. I will say that we are quote unquote the best country in the world, and we don't give a shit
think
about
we
other
are.
people. I don't like that. I think we are, because like there are other countries that automatically you get 3 months off. You get to bond with your baby. You get to do everything. You get to make sure that everything's healthy and fine before you leave your baby.
We could do a whole podcast on this, but for the record.
We will.
Okay, good. Do you think we used to be the best country in the world at one point? Maybe like 20 years ago, 30 years ago?
Probably in the 90s. I'd say like 80s
Okay.
and 90s.
That makes sense to me. Do you think we are far from it right now?
I feel like
Or do you think we still are? I don't know. You can say that. I don't care. I'm not.
it's like a republic can only last like 200, 300 years, they say. We're approaching that. So it's like maybe we're in the downfall. We should reform another republic.
Fair. I'm not against that. I
It'd
think
be
our
like
country.
the United States of Americas. And like we have to join the whole continents together.
We could totally cut out like a lot of states that are shitty. But let's not. That's another
Just go
podcast. I
around
was
it.
just getting into.
Alabama, Missouri,
Whoa! I didn't say that.
Mississippi.
I did. Hmm.
Ooh, running dry. I actually have a camera that is watching the baby right now, so I'm making sure everything's okay.
Check it, dude. Check it.
I'm trying to figure out my wife's emotional state. She's kissing the baby repeatedly, which I don't know is good or bad.
She loves it. That's a bad sign, dude. She loves the baby. That's
Loves me.
code red. Get out. Get out.
I am
Get
now
out.
number 3 on our list.
You're just gonna keep dropping. So here's an interesting thing. Today I did the lawn
You did it.
with my ride mower. I fucked it.
Oh,
Jesus. That's pathetic.
that's terrible.
God damn.
That's too blunt. It's too
I
short.
did
too.
the lawn. Only took me 2 hours.
Yep.
Sounds about right, ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Then afterwards, it was. So it's been raining here for like 5 days straight.
I heard there was like quite a storm.
Just
Let's
it's
talk
5
about
days
the
of
weather
rain.
here.
The weather. Let's back off of babies.
So it's slushy.
It's sloshy. My lawn is so wet. I make footprints when I walk. So I have a, 1,200-pound ride mower, a 42-inch ride mower from Husqvarna, I would say. If they want to promote me, that's fine. I think that's great.
Mhm.
It's one of their better models.
All right.
Anyway, when I would ride it this morning, because I had off today, and by off today I mean watch my son do everything I have to do around the house, it would leave tire tracks that ripped up the mud, and I was like, oh my god, I
Do you
can't
still
do
hold
this.
your son whenever you do things? Is he too heavy to hold?
He's way too heavy. My kid is a 99th percentile weight, 95th percentile height. He's huge. He's a goddamn giant. People think my kid's like bad at stuff. They're like, is he okay? And I'm like, he's only 3. He's not 8. Everyone thinks he's like 7 or 8. And they're like, is he okay? And I'm like, he's not even 4. This kid is a beast. I hate him. Anyway, I love you, son. I love you so much for watching this back to the past.
I love my sons too.
I'm watching you.
I'm going to say what
Heard
the
it.
script says.
Yeah, Unpanderer payments coming your way. But anyway,
Husk.
the ground was so wet
Yes.
that it was leaving, like, ripping up tire marks. So waited 9 hours till the end of the day. I did this at like 7 p.m. Did my whole lawn. I think I ruined some areas because it's still soaking wet.
Mm-hmm.
Hope grass grows back. What was I getting at?
I have no
And
idea.
then I did the weed whacker, because you can't just do the lawn. You have to do the weed whacker afterwards, because there's little areas where the weeds are hanging.
Uh-huh.
And you can't just do that. You got to use the leaf blower at the end, because you can't leave all that crap laying around, okay?
Uh-huh. There's
You
too much
follow
to
me?
do. It's annoying.
So then after that, she doesn't give him baths because her hands, it's like her skin. So I had to give him a bath. And at that point, I was getting ready for a podcast about babies. I thought this is an awful idea. I hate babies. I hate kids. Everything. And then I was brushing teeth, and then I was rushing down here to do this, and it occurred to me that there's like certain jobs that are man jobs, certain jobs that are woman jobs. Women get maternity leave, men get this. I think maybe the idea of the job, like let's say a woman is supposed to do laundry, supposed to do caring for the child, is supposed to do
Cooking.
dinner, cooking, cleaning the
Sexist.
stuff,
Yeah.
cleaning all this stuff. Because I end up doing a lot of woman jobs with my man job.
That also is a good point. Yeah.
Mhm.
You bring that in that, like, if you think about a man and a woman taking care of a baby, it's like the woman's taking care of the baby. She's doing 90% of it. Not true. There's
Not necessarily. I think
Yeah.
things have changed a lot in the past 10, 20 years. Which is interesting about maternity and paternity leave, right?
Yeah, and I wonder we have to do an episode on this, whether the developed countries treat men and women the same. We'll do like a balance to like what
I think they say they do. I don't think they do.
do you think they guilt the man into going back to work because he probably makes more money because it's a sexist environment that favors men? Ooh.
A little bit. I also think this. Check this. So growing up, I always thought women were more boring than men. Maybe true.
Probably.
Do you think it's because women are expected to do A, the laundry, B, the cleaning, raising the child, all that stuff? I
Passive
find
and
that
boring
I
stuff.
do a lot of that. Right, but I find I'm doing a lot of that right now in my life.
Mm-hmm.
It's taking up so much of my goddamn time that I don't have as much time for my hobbies as I would like.
I think
I'm
you
not
need to
playing
develop
the
new hobbies, though.
drums. No. It's not the hobby that's the issue. It's the time.
But like putting in like a listen to a podcast, you can still become mentally aware of other things. Like you can't physically do things, but you can be.
Hold on. You think you think I want a goddamn hobby to be listen to podcasts?
Or music.
Hobby. Listening. I still listen to music. I can listen to music
Yeah, but
often.
if you take a woman in that role, do you think a woman's like, I'm gonna listen to X, Y, and Z while I'm doing this thing? And do you think she finishes it
No.
and is happy that she listened to the? Are you happy that you did the laundry or whatever?
No, but is she listening to headphones that cut off her hearing for the rest of the house where other stuff's going on and maybe she's watching a kid? I don't know. If she could play it over a loudspeaker, but it couldn't be too loud, maybe. But I mean, like what if regular housewife from the 1990s wanted to play E-drums? Like back here, these bad boys.
Yep,
You
yep.
know what I'm saying?
Yep.
She doesn't have that much time to do it, is what I'm saying.
She can't become
I'm siding
a master of
with
drums.
the woman. She can't. I'm siding with the women here. There's something with the way we disparage jobs, in the United States at least, where I feel like women aren't given a fair shake because they're expected to raise the child, clean the house, do dinner, dishes, whatever, bathe the kid. I do a lot of the bathing, the dishes. Like, I do a lot of this stuff. But I also have a job, full-time-ish job.
Mhm.
And I don't have enough time for my drums. So what I'm saying to America, if they would just listen to me, is let's let moms play more drums. Do you know what I'm saying? 3 months paternity, guaranteed, would be perfect. 3 months paternity, perfect. Let's,
Zero
just saying,
maternity
let's-
leave. Let's give it all to men.
no, I said both. I said
Okay.
3 months maternity.
Sound like
and
a P at the
paternity.
beginning.
No, ma and pa. I said it for both.
Okay.
Okay?
I like that idea. You
It's
should
a great
run
idea.
for president when you turn 35. UnPanderers for president. Can you have a corporation for president? That'd be crazy.
Just saying, I've never said anything on this show that might influence America in a different direction. Nor have you, I believe, correct?
No, I'm very neutral.
So how do you feel
Unbiased.
about our idea? Our idea.
That'd be fantastic. I wish I could take 3 months off. There is a pressure. So, like, for my first one, I took maybe, like I'm taking now, I'm taking 2 weeks off, but it comes out of my
2
own
weeks.
bank of time. And then
So
after
wait,
that, you have to go back.
It's unpaid. It's unpaid time off.
Essentially, yeah. I have to
Okay.
use vacation for it.
Okay.
But so my first one had a medical issue that happened like when he was like 1 to 2 months old, and at that point I still was getting pressure from all my work bosses to do more work, and if I was a pussy, I mean a wimp, I would have to do that work, and like I would just like slog along with it. But at that point I was a badass, and I was like, no, F this, I'm not helping you because I need to take care of this stuff, and they backed off. And then
Oh, you won.
yeah, I won. Like they might have like not given me a raise for that reason, but you know, F you guys. I know who sucks because you're not gonna acknowledge that I have an issue. So it's like the work at that point doesn't deserve me to be a full-time employee. Like I'm going to shift my direction away from the people who suck, and I'm going to work on this because this person actually acknowledges that I need some sort of change in my routine.
Makes sense.
But people don't. I mean, people without children, if they're bosses, they're usually horrible bosses, and maybe people as well.
So, in other words, how do you feel about people who don't have kids?
So, like, you get that standard, like, they have this, like, emptiness that they won't acknowledge, but then they'll somehow generally comment on children. Like, you ever had that person that was just like, oh, they're fantastic, but they don't have any?
See, I agree with you, but I don't. I think... Who was I? It was just over the weekend. Who the hell was it? I know.
They feel a little annoyed, maybe. You bring up their children.
A little bit, and I.
It's always like a fake fantastic. That was the way I was spinning it off.
That's a good way to put it. I'll put it two ways though. One way, someone who doesn't have kids doesn't understand the full human experience.
The time,
honestly,
compression, and all that. Dilation.
Oh, we didn't even get into time compression, dude. That's a whole episode.
Do
you want it real quick? All right, I'll do it real quick.
Yeah, do it.
When you have a kid, time changes. Literally, time changes. Someone listening to this is like, yeah, of course, your kid's busy. No. Time changes. I'm saying this so loud, I want to scream it at the microphone. Time changes. Before a kid, if I get a text message, I try and get back to it in a couple hours. I don't know, 10 minutes, 2 minutes, if it's important.
Yeah.
After a kid, if I have a text, it could sit for a week in my friggin' inbox, and then I'll answer it like one day when I'm like not busy, and I'm like, yeah, cool idea, dude. And then like I send it. Like that's the way it's gonna go. When I have a kid, we got to meet up and get drinks. You know what I mean? Yo, my bro, we got to meet up and get drinks,
not gonna
dude.
Get that text until 2 weeks later.
Well, hold on. Forget the text. How about the act of meeting up and drinking?
Yeah. Hold on, I got to text my wife. Or find a babysitter. Or
hold up.
Give me 3 hours.
Like 8 months. Hold on. I got a time in October. You good to get drinks and hang out and just shoot the shit? Like, not if it's a best friend. If it's like a tertiary friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like,
no, those people just can disappear. They don't even.
Right. It's nuts. For years, there'll be a tertiary friend who disappeared for 2 straight years where I've never.
That's what happened with us. I mean, we both had kids, and it was just like, well, we're done. This friendship is over.
But on the record, you can reconnect, and everything's like new, right? Yeah. Like we did.
I think dudes do that more so than women. Women kind of like.
I agree. It's a little cattier. That's a bad word. That sounds sexist.
That does sound sexist.
I say cattier. That's
emotionally distant, I will say. They have to emotionally reconnect before they can.
And more like a cat. More like
yeah. If you were to have like a paw with claws on it and like swat each other.
But there's also this weird thing where sleep runs into not sleep, runs into taking care of someone.
Your memory gets a little bit fuzzier. You're like a little hazy on things, and then
there's a weird thing. Go ahead.
There's a drive that also hit me before I had my first one that I was like, I got to get this done before it happened, and like, you know, you can't do like maybe like not 50-60% of what you did before, but just because that time is now gone. And then you listen to
gone. Yep. E-drums gone. Thanks, kids.
You listen to other people who talk about their lives without children and how busy they are and what they do, and they procrastinate, and you could just in your mind, you're like, you're just sitting on the couch watching a TV show and doing nothing else. Like, I know it for a fact. And like, I can't do that. Like, I'm watching a kid. Right. I might have a show on in the background. I only pay attention to it for maybe 10% of the time. And, you know, I'm thinking about, you know, I got to make lunch for this kid. I got to change his diaper. I got another diaper to change.
Do we have any frozen milk? I got the frozen milk. I got unfrozen milk. I got to... how many do we have? Yo, babe, you got to pump more? Yeah, there's all these things going on while you're like, I'll take care of it. I hear it's time for it's a change, I think. I think it's time for a change.
Yep.
And all this is going on while you're also still trying to maintain your regular life. You're like, I got a podcast. You're like, I want to keep up with the Joneses. I want to read about the Kardashians. We don't read about the Kardashians. I'm just saying there might be someone we do want to read about. Las Vegas Golden Knights don't deserve to be in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Ooh, I want to talk about that. So bad. I want to talk about that.
I know you do. We don't have time.
No, we'll come back to the next. Yeah, we'll come back to next time. I will say that in my mind, there's like the people in my life, and there's clocks ticking, and it's like you have to have the clocks tick and align at the right time, right. And then it's like as a parent with multiple kids or a single kid, you're like,
no, multiple. Go ahead, please.
I have 15 minutes to do what I want to do. So there's no procrastination. It's like I've been planning this 15 minutes for 2 weeks. I'm going to take it right now. I run upstairs. I start programming feverishly. And I'm like, I got to finish this. And I don't finish it. And then the podcast doesn't get on Google Play.
Wait, how about the video games? Do you even know play anything?
Like, not since.
I got time.
There's a weird guilt thing. So there's also... I will say this.
I agree with you.
You feel compelled to do everything your partner's doing, which is the wrong feeling. Just strange to say. But there's things that she can do that she does well and she can do independently. And there's things that you can do well and you can just complement what she doesn't want to do or doesn't do. And that's the key for the second one. It's like she's taking care, she's doing all the feedings right now. She's doing everything that she wants to do. Anything she doesn't want to do, I'll do that, but only that. I'm not going to help her through the other things because there's no reason to.
Right, because there's no reason. You're wasting your time. Plus, you have another child. You got to take care of him.
Yeah.
You've got other issues. You've got work. You've got stuff you've missed on because you've been out of work because you had a baby.
Yep.
It's all feeding into a weird loop where time gets effed up.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much time I had before I had a baby.
And you wasted so much.
Oh my God. Time is... I told this to the last 3 to 4 to 5 people who I've had deep talks with in the past week.
Ooh, deep talks.
And I haven't told you yet.
That doesn't happen
Get ready.
very often.
We already covered it, but there's one commodity in life that you can't replace.
Time.
It's not money. It's not cool shirts.
Oh.
Show off some shirts. Yeah. It's not cool shirts, although cool shirts are great.
Pound daddies,
money.
baby.
It's not cool shirts. It's not doing podcasts. It's not getting drunk with your friends when you're 35 or whatever.
That sounds
It's
awful
this.
when you say it.
It sounded bad,
Yeah.
but
It's true. You want to.
Ex-girlfriend I had was over at the house the other day, and she's like talking like about stuff she does with people I know, and I'm like, oh, what are you doing? She's like,
Wasting
me
your
and
time.
Chrissy are getting together. Me and whatchamacallit are together. Oh, we do brunch with mimosas and all this. And I'm like, oh, it sounds like so much fun. And then she said, like, and then later, if whether the neighbor's having a party, we're doing a drunk barbecue. And I'm like, oh, it's so awesome. And she's like, it's both. I mean,
it's you're bitter
I
that they
didn't
can do it,
have
but
kids-
you're like, this is better. Like the
Right,
kids are better
right.
than all that, surprisingly.
they are, but they're not. I say the kid is the highest peak of human existence and the lowest low.
Oh yeah,
It's
when they
both.
shit all over your plans and then laugh at you, and you're like,
And shit on you.
Yeah.
And you're like,
literally.
you ruined my life. But I told the person, it's not money, it's not this. The greatest commodity in life is time. Because you can't get time back. Time's what you use for your hobbies, enjoyment, listening to music, playing the E-drums. Playing those E-drums sitting there. I don't
So
have time
lonely.
for this.
I've never seen you play them. You don't have time.
Actually, I play them a lot. My kid, I sit him on this computer here and be like, hey, you want to play Portal 2? Great. And I
Distract
play the
him
E-drum.
for 10 minutes as you.
4 minutes.
He comes
He
over. He's
doesn't-
like, he wants to play the E-drums.
He doesn't jump in Portal. He wants me to jump for him. I'm like, he knows all the puzzles in
jump.
Portal. He can, yeah, and that's what he says. And I'm like, it's the A button. We have an Xbox controller. Dude, you can do it.
You need like
And
one
he's
of
like-
these. It's like a wireless keyboard thing. You just like you tap
Just
the A.
do it from over
Like,
there.
do it from over there as you're playing.
Yeah.
It could be like an
Hey,
extra
you got
foot
it,
pedal.
kid. You got it.
Dada jump. And you're
I
like,
got you jumping. Go with the beat. Go with the beat.
ooh.
So anyway, time is the ultimate commodity, and by having a second child, for the record,
Don't have 3.
oh my god, for the record, having a child increases difficulty in life by 100%. Let's say I'm
Video
putting that
game
in
has
the-
5 levels. What you got? Like easy. You got medium, hard, extra hard, and the nightmare.
Sure, yeah.
I would say you're probably
What's a
playing on
child?
medium without a child. With one child, it's probably on hard. 2 is probably extra hardish.
So do you think 3 puts the nightmare? What's interesting is even by saying that, one child increases it by 75% ish.
Yeah, I'd say
Maybe
so.
100%. A second child doesn't increase it by another 100, and instead it increases it
Like
by 50
50%.
more.
Yeah, I would
Okay,
say 50%
that makes sense.
more. Because you can bucket the things together. Like I
Right,
have to buy
there's
diapers, but it's
Reused
only
toys.
one batch
reused
of diapers.
toys. That's cool.
It's not so cool, actually. I hate it. But
This is
Expensive,
one of
too.
our longest episodes. We're talking about kids and everything. That's
oh. Yeah.
well, I think we've swaddled this episode. Wrapped it up so it can't move.
Straight jacket it and closet it. Store forever.
Do you want to touch on anything else? I mean, we could spend an episode on time. We could spend an episode on friends with kids. We could spend an episode on a second kid alone.
No. This is good
Mhm.
because I'm not sleep deprived, but I will be.
You're getting
And
there.
We're gonna get to an episode on sleep deprivation probably in a week, and I will be out of it. And mentally, I feel sharp, but I know.
And not researched for the episode? That sounds awful.
Yeah. Off the
Physically
cuff.
researched. Physically researched.
My body has been through it.
Mm.
So we'll catch you next time, guys.
Hey, just to let the audience know, we do like you. We like you a lot.
Good night.
From the audience, Kevin646 said we suck dick.
That's interesting.
No, we don't.
Kevin.
See you,
646.
Kevin.
Peace.
Have a great night, everyone.